All right, we're going to be taking a look at Winter Storm KENAN, the big nor'easter slamming the northeast right now. As you can see on your screen, those are shots from Atlantic City. We are going to also touch base on the current snowfall totals, which are nowhere near where they're going to end up. And do we got some interesting earthquake information. Right off the bat, another massive 6.7 to 6.5 downgraded right at the Kermadec Islands. Now, my friends, this area has been getting absolutely slammed ever since the TONGA volcano. And as we zoom in here, you can see this is an actual swarm going on. And although a significant distance away from the Tonga volcano or Tonga itself, we are dealing with the exact same fault line and constant activity. Take a look at some of these aftershocks, all happening in a very, very short period of time. And finally, take a look at our old friend La Palma. We had an earthquake here for the first time in a long time, especially reported by Volcano Discovery about a day and a half ago. I had meant to post on this yesterday. Some things came up, things happened, but we will get into this. And a few other notable earthquakes have taken place over the last 24 hours. We're going to look at each one of those, including what's going on in the eastern half of the United States with these many, many seismic reports and sonic boom. My friends, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. We are going to break this all down right here, right now. Let's go. Alright everybody, welcome back. January 29th, 2022, 11:56 p.m. And it would only be right to begin with the big nor'easter winter storm taking place as we speak, dumping some significant snow all over the northeast. Now I'm sure a lot of you realized how much emphasis they were putting on this storm way in advance. In fact, far back in advance to where they usually tell you not to predict stuff like this. So they're kind of contradicting themselves as far as the professional meteorologists. But nonetheless, we have a whopper of a storm, and this thing is not ending anytime soon. We are stretching through this entire day, specifically areas of Massachusetts, Long Island, Connecticut, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. You guys are getting slammed with this storm. Oh, and I can't forget that the Jersey Shore near Forked River is already over 15.5 inches, and that was at 10:26 a.m. So we could be pushing 2 feet in that area, and that is the trend right now. There are many areas expected to reach that 2-foot mark, that 24 inches of snow. All right, and let's just scroll through these right now. We just talked about the Jersey Shore. We're hitting 15 inches in many places. Forked River, Lanoka Harbor, not too typical for these areas. But when we're dealing with these nor'easter situations and those high winds, snow drifts, things like that, they empower these storms like crazy. New York City, you are already reaching 8 inches in many places. In fact, this was the first blizzard warning for New York in over 1,200 something days. It was back in 2018 during one of those March nor'easters that we had 4 of them in 1 month. Was the last time New York, I believe, was under any sort of blizzard warning. Now to some of my old stomping grounds, Long Island, Islip Airport, Smithtown. I'm actually part of the family that founded that town, Smithtown, Long Island, and Bull Rider Smith. Very interesting story about that guy and how he acquired Smithtown, Long Island. He's one of my great-great-great-grandfathers or something. Anyhow, Riverhead, 14 inches, North Babylon, 13.5, St. James, 13.2. Again, this was over an hour and a half ago. Then New Jersey itself not getting hit quite as hard as the Jersey Shore, which actually makes sense. We're at that 5.5, 6 inches range. But again, we're just in the thick of this right now. Connecticut, you don't get talked about enough, so we're going to give you your totals as well. 6.9 inches as of now in Bridgeport, Trumbull, 5.5, Norwalk, 4.3, Bethel, and Stamford pushing that 3-inch mark. The Hudson Valley in New York is also getting similar snow totals, so you kind of see the trend where those areas that are sticking out a little bit farther into the Atlantic Ocean and much closer to those very condensed isobars, you're getting the wind and the snow. All right, I didn't want to take up too much time on the storm as of right now. We're going to go over the totals a little bit later on and stuff like that, but there's plenty of content covering this nor'easter. There is something very significant I want to talk about. We talked about this yesterday as well. And we're going to start over in the Atlantic Ocean because we have a visit from an old friend, and I'm sure you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. Now, don't worry, my friends, this has not erupted again, but something interesting. We have an earthquake right here reported a day and a half ago. As I said, I wanted to post on this yesterday. I had a lot going on, but I want you to look at something. If we go and click all magnitudes, which is already highlighted, let's get rid of this box, and we hit the next 30 days, look how many earthquakes have been on the island of La Palma in the last month. Not one, according to Volcano Discovery. But I know this area has its own seismic project going on, so they may be registering earthquakes that are under near a 1.0, anything in the first decimal point. But nonetheless, my friends, this is the first time we've seen a legit earthquake on the island of La Palma in well over 30 days. For those of you that don't know, La Palma erupted for months, causing a lot of fears to the east coast of the United States. And I just find it kind of interesting how that event lasted so long, and then very shortly after, we had the issue that took place at the TONGA volcano, which is exactly where we're going right now. And this is pretty wild. This area is super active right now, and there's a weird thing going on between Volcano Discovery and the USGS that I'm going to discuss in 1 second. But let's look at this swarm that began with a 6.5, and this was a 6.7 before it was downgraded. So a major earthquake and a major grouping of earthquakes all within a short period of time, taking place just before the end of the night last night Eastern Standard Time, or else I would have posted these sooner. Again, my friends, this is about how close in proximity this is to the Tonga Island, and then in turn to the Tonga volcano. All of this put together is certainly playing off each other. So again, I can't stress this enough. We talked about this in a previous video where we had a 6.3 earthquake strike just this area, and that was also downgraded. So a lot of action taking place, and not to mention this earthquake is at that default 10 kilometers in depth. And I gotta say, this is a first, because here is that same swarm taking place on Volcano Discovery, which is usually the website that will post the earthquakes that the USGS tends to miss or quote-unquote forget about. But in this case, it's the opposite. Yes, they do have the swarm, but nowhere within this swarm can you find that 6.5 or 6.7 earthquake. These are all 5s, mid-5s, or lower grade 5s. So I find that very interesting that Volcano Discovery does not have that big earthquake that certainly did take place. And usually we're dealing with that in an opposite way with the USGS, as we can see here, not posting the big significant quakes, and then Volcano Discovery having our back and making sure we know that they did happen. All right, and sorry to run through the ending of this very quickly. I don't want to keep you here too long, but I just want to touch base really quick. In the last 24 hours, we've had 1, 2, and 3 reported earthquakes, all disregarded now, which means these could have been sonic boom. In an upcoming video, I'm going to try to connect 2 of these 3 because I have data to support 2 of those as being meteor explosions. So that should be interesting. I hope you guys join me for that one as well. I may have that out later on today. If not, then tomorrow it will be covered. But there is just so much going on. I probably have 5 or 6 different videos in the works right now for you guys. So I have plenty of content for you because you guys are showing such incredible support. It's the least I could do is put in the extra effort and give you guys more content. We need to know what's going on with this planet. My friends, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to Truckin' Canada. You gotta love what's going on. And I hope every one of you are staying safe and warm. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.